The last testifier we have on our list is Temi Ogunrinde. Welcome to the committee. Please identify yourself and proceed with your testimony.
Hello, everyone. Good to be here again. My name is Temi. As you remember, I'm the Equity and Engagement Director at Urban Homeworks, Vice Chair Agbaje, members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today regarding House File 11. Thank you, Chair Howard, and to each representative for moving this bill forward and the opportunity to testify on behalf of Urban Homeworks, our residents, and larger community in support of House File 11. Urban Homeworks is a nonprofit focused on affordable housing. We work to ensure families in North Minneapolis, South Minneapolis, and St. Paul have safe, dignified housing that they can afford. We know firsthand that the need for affordable housing is great, but we cannot do it alone. House File 11 alleviates the burdensome reality of paying more than 30% of your income on housing, whether they live in affordable housing or not. Because we know that even in housing that is considered affordable by HUD standards, families are still house burdened. As one of the few people of color in this room, I have to point out, time after time, our elected officials tout the importance of equity in our state, but stay complacent to inequitable practices and systemic racism. Allow me to break down the reality of how our systems benefit our white Minnesotans far greater than our BIPOC Minnesotans. Minnesota provides a subsidy to homeowners through the mortgage interest deduction. This subsidy disproportionately benefits white Minnesotans due to the disparities between white homeownership and BIPOC homeownership. However, funding toward rent subsidies are largely underfunded, a subsidy that would greatly benefit BIPOC families. Now is the opportunity for every legislator, regardless of political affiliation, to support true equity in the state of Minnesota or run the risk of showing that your words of support toward equity are hollow and performative. Simply put, supporting House File 11 is not only equitable, but the right thing to do. This bill has impact beyond North Minneapolis, beyond the Twin Cities, and beyond the metro area. A 2021 study done by Minnesota Housing Partnership showed that there is a high percentage of Minnesotans who are house burdened in Hennepin, Anoka, and Ramsey. However, there are higher concentrations of house burdened Minnesotans in the Itasca, Beltrami, Clay, Rice, and other greater Minnesota counties. Let me break it down further to some of your specific jurisdictions. Representative Dotseth, 43.6% of your constituents spend more than 30% of their income towards rent. For Representative Nash, 43.3%, Petersburg, 52.7%, and Myers, 52.3%. Supporting House File 11 is an opportunity to think beyond your families and friends and to think of the hardworking Minnesotans who are in need of real support and voted you in to provide that. The impact that House File 11 would have on Minnesota families is generational. With families only paying 30% of their income towards rent, they have the opportunity to pay for health care and other basic needs. It allows Minnesotans to never have to worry about choosing between paying for rent or putting food on the table. When you have stability you start to dream, you can begin to do things like build an emergency savings fund, save for a down payment, or your child's college tuition. Last week, Representative Nash spoke to wanting to be able to see the fruit of his labor, and I don't fault him. I genuinely do too. But my hope is that each representative will desire that for their constituents just as much as they desire it for themselves. The reality is there are too many hardworking Minnesotans who have been unable to see the fruits of their labor due to skyrocketing rent and unaffordable housing. I would love for you all to just imagine with me. What if we created a Minnesota where the majority of the population isn't simply surviving? A Minnesota where the majority of hardworking Minnesotans are stable, and from that stability are able to now dream of what thriving looks like for themselves and their families. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to